In John chapter 11, verse 35, the Bible tells us that Jesus wept. And a lot of people look at that as looking at it from Jesus' perspective, weeping over the death of a friend. And there's a lot of sermons and lessons and things like that that are from that perspective. I would like to look at it from a different perspective, and that's from the perspective of being a man. Now, I'm not talking about women this time, so you could listen and learn, that's fine, but this is for men for just this once. Well, I did another video on men just not too long ago, too, but this is part two of that. And we are told as men not to cry, and we are told by society not to cry. Society nowadays is trying to get men to cry more and more and more and more. And we tell our children, our boys, hey, don't cry. We were told not to cry as we grew up. And is that wrong? I don't think it's wrong. I believe that men should be stoic. I believe that we should be strong, that we should be the rock that God has called us to be for our families. But it doesn't mean that we shouldn't be vulnerable from time to time. Now, I've talked to a lot of women about this, and most agree. And I'm talking about older women, not these young, little girls that are between the ages of 18 and 25 and things like that. But older women, 30 and up, 40 and up, and so on and so forth, and they are of the same opinion, which is they don't want their man crying all the time, right? Over every little thing. Oh, I stubbed my toe and I'm going to cry. That's not masculinity, and that's not being a man. However, that's not to say that a tear should never escape your eyeball, right? Again, we look at Jesus and we look at his life, and this is the very Son of God. This is God in the flesh, and he knew that he was going to see his friend again, right, Lazarus, and all of that stuff. But the Bible says that he wept, and that's the shortest verse in the history of the Bible and all of that. But it's a powerful one, and it's a reminder that it's okay to be emotional from time to time, right? There are times where you got to let that out. You can't just hold things in all the time. But strength is important. Being the rock that you're supposed to be is important. That's what you're called to do. All of these things are great, but that's not to say that you don't have some sort of emotional release. All right, we talked about that in the last video where I talked about having other men that you can talk to, and you can talk to your wife, but she's not going to understand what it's like to be a man, right? So having other men is very, very important, and make sure you choose the right friends. Talked about that on the last video as well. But I wanted to mention this about the crying part, and more than anything about being vulnerable. I don't cry a whole lot. I can't remember the last time I did. It's been many, 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 many years, but it's not to say that I have a problem with it or anything like that. It's just I'm just kind of built differently for whatever reason. So if you're feeling emotional or something like that and a tear escapes, you're not less of a man or anything like that. If you're crying all the time, like I said earlier, see someone, because that might be a problem that's deeper. So I hope this resonates. I hope this gives you what you need, and we'll see you on the next one.